Exclusive contracted novel by Feilu Novel Network. Siheyuan. Starting from being promoted to level 6 as a welder. Xu Weijun travels through the world of love-filled Siheyuan and becomes an ordinary resident of Siheyuan. Originally, she was on a blind date with Qin Huairu. Unexpectedly, her mother suddenly fell seriously ill and passed away, causing her family to decline. Qin Huairu, who despised poverty and loved wealth, instead married Jia Dongxu. She was not only slandered and spread rumors by Jia Zhang's mother and son, but also excluded by her neighbors. From then on, Xu Weijun worked hard and in just 8 years, not only became the youngest level 6 welder in the steel rolling mill, but also activated the system. As Xu Weijun's days passed, they became increasingly prosperous. Qin Huairu. How could I have been blind and married Jia Dongxu? Feilu Novel Network reminds you that this novel and its characters are purely fictional. If there are any similarities, they are purely coincidental and should not be imitated. Chapter 1. Promotion to Level 6 Welder, Calculation by Yen Bugui. You are listening at Novel Full.audio. Red Star Steel Rolling Plant. Approaching the end of work, the factory broadcast sounded a notification. Comrade Xu Weijun, a former level 5 welder, after hard work and pursuit of progress, passed the work level assessment and was promoted to level 6 welder. Everyone should learn from Comrade Xu Weijun, work diligently and study hard, and contribute to the construction of the country. I hereby announce and encourage you. The publicity department in the factory notified Xu Weijun that he had been promoted to level 6 welder and also gave him a lot of praise. For a moment, the entire Red Star steel rolling plant was a sensation. What? Xu Weijun has been promoted to level 6 as a welder. How could that be? He has only been a welder for a few years. About 8 years. 8 years. Promoted to level 6 as a welder at a young age, Xu Weijun has a bright future ahead. Promoted to level 6 welder, the salary will also increase, and Xu Weijun's life will also get better and better. Many people were shocked to hear this news. A level 6 welder cannot be promoted casually, they need to have excellent welding skills. Moreover, it is necessary to pass the corresponding job level assessment in order to be promoted to level 6 as a welder. Many experienced welders who have worked in steel mills for most of their lives are unable to reach this height for the rest of their lives. At the age of 25, Xu Weijun was promoted to level 6 as a welder, which in the eyes of most people is simply boundless. I'm sure I can be promoted to an engineer in the future. This is a consensus among many people. Guard, congratulations. Congratulations on being promoted to level 6 welder. Xiao Su is young and has a bright future. Congratulations. We need to set up 2 tables to celebrate. The radio in the factory had just stopped, and the workers around Xu Weijun also congratulated him one after another. Thank you. Thank you. It's all so lucky. Xu Weijun responded politely. As for setting up 2 tables to celebrate, it's just a small gesture. Wait for him to tidy up the tools and put them in the toolbox. The bell for leaving work also rang inside the Red Star steel rolling plant. Taking his lunchbox, Xu Weijun walked out of the gate of the steel rolling mill. On both sides of the street are old buildings. On the wall, there are slogans painted with distinctive features of the times. Seeing everything before him, Xu Weijun suddenly had a feeling of being separated from the world. In the blink of an eye, I have been in this world for 8 years. Xu Weijun was not wearing clothes, he had his soul pierced onto a person of the same name and surname in this era. When Xu Weijun first crossed over, he thought there would be a system nearby. However, he waited for 8 years without expecting the system. So gradually, Xu Weijun no longer wanted to. Nowadays, in the early 1960s, many people are living a tight life. Without a system, Xu Weijun had to rely on his own efforts to live a good life. And his father was a martyr, and his mother was a worker in a steel rolling mill. After my father left, my mother also suddenly fell seriously ill and passed away. So, shortly after crossing the country, Xu Weijun took over his mother's job at the steel rolling mill and became an apprentice welder at the factory. When Xu Weijun first became an apprentice welder, his monthly salary was only 1,850 yuan. Although he looks young, he is the only one at home. So the days are getting by, and I can still eat meat a few times a month. However, Xu Weijun is not satisfied with this, he is also a person with pursuits. In this era, doing business is speculative. Xu Weijun won't do anything about shooting. But he is a welder in a steel rolling mill, and the only way to live a better life is to raise his work level. Only by raising his work level can he earn a higher income. So, since entering the steel rolling mill and becoming an apprentice welder, Xu Weijun has been working hard and studying welder skills diligently. Finally, at the age of 25, he became the youngest level 6 welder in the Red Star steel rolling plant. The monthly salary for a level 5 welder is 57 yuan and 50 cents. Now Xu Weijun has been promoted to level 6 as a welder. Starting from next month, he will receive a monthly salary of 67.50 yuan. In addition, to be promoted to level 6 as a welder, one must also serve as a workshop leader and receive corresponding subsidies. Starting from next month, it is safe for him to earn 70 yuan per month. So, people feel refreshed during happy events. After coming out of the steel rolling mill, Xu Weijun went to buy a pound of pork and planned to have a few drinks at home tonight. After work tomorrow, he will invite his close colleagues and set up 2 tables at the restaurant. After buying the meat and walking home, I arrived at a quadrangle in about 10 minutes. This quadrangle courtyard is a 3-in-large mansion, where more than 10 households live. Xu Weijun is one of the households, and he has 2 houses here. By the way, in this courtyard, there are 3 masters in charge. Zhonghai, the first uncle, lives in the middle courtyard, Lu Haizhong, the second uncle, lives in the backyard, and the third uncle lives in the front courtyard. And Xu Weijun also lives in the backyard, next door to his second uncle Lu Haizhong. In addition, there is also a deaf old lady in Xu Damao in the backyard. That's right, the world background in which Xu Weijun is currently located is exactly the world background of Emotional Courtyard. Guard, congratulations. I heard that you have been promoted to level 6 welder. This is your big celebration, why not celebrate it well? As soon as he entered the front yard, Xu Weijun met the third master Yan Bugui. Because Xu Weijun went to the market to buy pork after work. So, returning to the courtyard first, Zhonghai and Lu Haizhong had already spread the news of Xu Weijun being promoted to level 6 welder throughout the entire courtyard. Now, when Yan Bugui saw Xu Weijun returning with a pound of pork in his hand, he naturally had to calculate. Because for so many years, Yan Bugui had already known that Xu Weijun would not treat him unfairly. When he was still an apprentice welder, he would eat meat every now and then. Later, with Xu Weijun's promotion and income increase, the frequency of eating meat became more frequent. In the entire quadrangle courtyard, there were no more than a dozen households living as arrogantly as Xu Weijun. If Xu Weijun really celebrates in the courtyard and sets up a few tables, they can also improve their lives. However, Yan Bugui miscalculated. Xu Weijun never even thought of setting up a table in the courtyard to celebrate. When he first crossed over, his mother had not yet passed away, so he arranged a blind date for him. The blind date is Qin Huairu. It is said that Qin Huairu with one blood is very good, so when the matchmaker introduced him to Qin Huairu, Xu Weijun also wanted to brush off Qin Huairu's one blood. However, the good times did not last long. Shortly after the blind date, his mother suddenly fell seriously ill and passed away, leaving the Xu family penniless. And Qin Huairu turned around and fell in love with Jia Dongxu, the first-level fitter in the courtyard. Although Jia Dongxu was not as tall and handsome as Xu Weijun, he was a first-class fitter at that time, earning a monthly salary of 27.5 yuan, and had a mother at home. However, Xu Weijun's family was extremely poor, and even if he took over his mother's job at the steel rolling mill, he could only start as an apprentice with a monthly salary of only 18.5 yuan. So, Qin Huairu naturally believed that marrying Jia Dongxu was better than marrying Xu Weijun. After Qin Huairu married Jia Dongxu, the Jia family mother and son mocked Xu Weijun as a toad wanting to eat swan meat. Then, both sides started arguing. At this time, neighbors all said that love was free, and Xu Weijun should not make trouble without reason. Anyway, no matter what the facts are, it's Xu Weijun's fault. At the steel rolling mill, Jia Dongxu often spoke ill of him. And Bugui, who was fond of calculation, even advised Xu Weijun to be magnanimous at that time. Since then, Xu Weijun has had little interaction with his neighbors in the courtyard. Now, when Bugui saw him promoted to level 6 welder, he thought of calculating and letting him break his wealth. Pooh! There's no way out. Chapter 2. System Arrival, First Lottery, Seeking Collection. You are listening at novelfull.audio. There's nothing to celebrate. Xu Weijun finished speaking calmly and walked straight inside. Humph, what a show. A level 6 welder is amazing. I'm still a teacher, and I'm full of peaches and plums all over the world. The calculation of Xu Weijun's failure made Bugui very angry, so he had to grit his head and say some words about the situation. Xu Weijun was also too lazy to pay attention. Bugui is indeed a teacher at Hongxing Elementary School. But when it comes to peaches and plums all over the world, it's him putting gold on his own face. How can you fill the world with peach and plum blossoms when the student base is limited? Jia Zhang, who was putting the soles of her shoes in the courtyard, saw Xu Weijun walking past her with pork in hand. She also had a malicious expression on her face and cursed softly, Xu Weijun is really selfish. My family's meme is when I grew up, and even if I have meat, I don't care about it. He deserves to be a bachelor at the age of 25, and he will definitely become a destitute in the future. Qin Huairu was originally introduced to Xu Weijun by a matchmaker, but later married Jia Dongxu. Jia Zhang has always said that Xu Weijun is a toad who wants to eat swan meat. Now, seeing Xu Weijun walking past her with a piece of pork, Jia Zhang couldn't help but curse maliciously. "Grandma, I want to eat meat, I want to eat meat," said Bang Ji as soon as he heard about eating meat. Jia Zhang was disturbed by the noise and became restless. But Bang Ji is her precious grandson, and she can't bear to fight. Qin Huairu, who was washing clothes with a big belly, also envied the pork in Xu Weijun's hand. She is currently pregnant with her third child, and it is time for nutrition. However, Jia Dongxu's salary is low and his family is large. It would be nice to have mantou with their Hemian now. Even pork can only be eaten during the Chinese New Year. Moreover, most of it is eaten by Jia Dongxu and her mother-in-law Jia Zhang, and she can eat very little. Alas, if only I hadn't married Jia Dongxu back then and instead married Xu Weijun. So she can also live a good life with Xu Weijun now. Unfortunately, at that time she had shallow eyelids and saw that Xu Weijun's family was extremely poor. The Jia family promised to give more dowry, so she turned around and married Jia Dongxu, abandoning Xu Weijun as a potential stock. Now, it's too late to regret. When he returned home, Xu Weijun first went to scrape off the pig's fur, and then cut the fat into pieces and put them into a pot. Refine the fat first. Pig fat mixed with rice is a rare luxury in the eyes of many people in this era. Refine the oil, put it in an enamel bowl, and cook the remaining oil residue with lean meat. Add some salt and the aroma of the pork will come out. Soon, the aroma of meat spread throughout the backyard. Lu Hai Zhong Jia. The family is having dinner. Antair sniffed hard and said enviously, "It smells so good. Xu Weijun is eating meat again." They have enough to eat alone, and the whole family is not hungry. There is also some jealousy in the Bangs. Like him, although he is a level 7 blacksmith, his whole family relies on his small salary to support themselves, and now they can only eat eggs. And it can't be eaten frequently. Think about yourself having a higher level of work than Xu Weijun, but you can only eat eggs. However, Xu Weijun, a level 6 welder, was able to eat pork, which made the center of the Bangs feel uncomfortable. The guards still have a promising future. They were promoted to level 6 as a welder at a young age. In the courtyard, Auntie sighed. Ah, what can I do? Who said I was blind in the beginning? Zhonghai also sighed. Initially, Qin Huairu was on a blind date with Xu Weijun, but later married Jia Dongxu. Because Jia Dongxu was his disciple, Zhonghai stood on the side of the Jia family at that time and also said that Xu Weijun was not. Now, Xu Weijun is so promising at a young age, and Zhonghai regrets it. Because he is unemployed, the biggest concern in his life is the issue of retirement. In the TV series, Zhonghai plans to have Silly Zhu take care of his elderly couple. Now, Zhonghai not only wants Silly Zhu to help him retire. He also wants to make 2 preparations. Xu Weijun is young and promising, but his parents are gone. If Xu Weijun also helps him retire, and at the worst, we need to establish good relations with Xu Weijun. But unfortunately, at that time, the Lord was misled and he even helped the Jia family speak, which led to a deterioration of the relationship with Xu Weijun. Moreover, Xu Weijun has been wandering outside the courtyard for so many years, making it difficult for him to establish a good relationship with Xu Weijun. After 8 years of hard work, I was finally promoted to level 6 as a welder. Starting from next month, his salary will also increase, which means his days will become more prosperous. So, after cooking the pork, Xu Weijun also stir-fried a plate of peanuts and a green vegetable, ready to treat himself well. Xu Weijun enjoyed eating meat and drinking leisurely at home, and was also very comfortable. Unconsciously, a bottle of baijiu made Xu Weijun's face a little drunk. Ding! The daily lottery system has been launched successfully. The host did not draw a lottery today. Will there be a lottery? Just as he was preparing to tidy up the dishes, a voice suddenly rang in his mind. Upon hearing this sound, Xu Weijun instantly became mentally excited and woke up from drinking. It's been 8 years. The system. He finally has a system. Excited for a while, Xu Weijun silently recited in his heart, lottery. Ding! The lottery was successful, winning 88 yuan, 20 pounds of rice, 10 pounds of edible oil, 10 pounds of pork, and 10 pounds of eggs. As the lottery ended, Xu Weijun immediately burst into laughter. The system is really kind to me. In the first lottery, there were 88 yuan alone, which exceeded his current monthly income. There are also 20 kilograms of rice and 10 kilograms of edible oil. In this era, many people generally lack fuel and water. Even if 1 kilogram of grain is eaten at a time, it is easy to get hungry without oil and water. Why did Xu Weijun use most of his income to improve food before? It's not just about having oil and water in your stomach. Welders are manual labor. Of course, pork, rice, and eggs are also good and can improve his diet. Thinking of this, Xu Weijun asked, "System, where is the prize?" He can't wait to see the prize now. The prize has been stored in the system warehouse, and the host can withdraw it at any time if needed. Are there any hidden dangers? The system will arrange the origin of the items. Please use them with confidence. Xu Weijun was no longer worried, but was thinking about how to have breakfast tomorrow. After thinking about it, I decided to make 2 bowls of egg and lean meat congee in the morning. Come home from work in the evening and have another bowl of braised pork belly. TSK. Think about it, life is so beautiful. Of course, it would be even better if there was an object. When it comes to the object, in fact, besides Qin Huairu, 6 years ago, he also invited the matchmaker Wang Anti to introduce another object. He also wants to start a family and start a business early, so that the old Su family can spread their branches and leaves. However, he was still criticized by the other woman for having no father or mother. Who will take care of me when I get married and have children in the future? Moreover, at that time, Xu Weijun was still a first-class welder. His income is low, and he is not even looked up to by others. At this moment, an old lady also arrived at the courtyard. It's Aunt Wang. There are several unmarried young men in the courtyard. Xu Weijun, Su Damao, silly pillar Aunt Wang's visit to the courtyard must be a matchmaker. But now, Su Damao has gone to the countryside to play a movie. The silly Zhu family also has a younger sister who is a drag on oil. I didn't go into the front yard of Uncle San's house. I didn't go to the silly Zhu's house in the courtyard. I didn't go to Grandpierre's house in the backyard either. Is Aunt Wang here to act as a matchmaker for Xu Weijun? Thinking of Xu Weijun being promoted to level 6 welder, many people's eyes were fixed on Wang Dama's movements. When I saw Aunt Wang walking into the backyard and arriving at Xu Weijun's house. Sure enough, Aunt Wang has come to mediate for Xu Weijun. Chapter 3. The blind date is Ran Qiuye, seeking collection. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Guard, there you are. Aunt Wang greeted outside the door first. Well, Aunt Wang, are you? Xu Weijun looked at Aunt Wang in confusion. Is she here to mediate with me again? Guard, I'm here to mediate for you. Matchmaker Wang directly explained her intention of coming. Although the announcement of Xu Weijun's promotion to level 6 welder was only broadcast today. However, the honking of the steel mill is loud enough, and there are also many workers living near the courtyard. So, the promotion of Xu Weijun to level 6 welder is known to people near the courtyard. And Xu Weijun is young and a level 6 welder. High level of work, good treatment, and key personnel who are tall and handsome. In the eyes of many people, this is simply a delicacy. As early as when Xu Weijun was promoted to a 4th level welder, many unmarried young women in the steel rolling mill had already taken a liking to him, and Aunt Wang acted as a matchmaker for Xu Weijun once again. However, at that time, Xu Weijun looked down on him and politely declined. A matchmaker? Which girl from that family? Xu Weijun was a bit curious. Nowadays, he is a level 6 welder. If it were an ordinary girl, he wouldn't be interested either. Firstly, at least the appearance and physique must pass the standard. Secondly, one should have good character and a certain cultural background. Her surname is Ran, and her name is Ran Qiuye. Mrs. Wang said with a smile on her face. Ran Qiuye. Xu Weijun was momentarily stunned. I really come whatever I want. Unexpectedly, the object that Aunt Wang wanted to introduce to him was Ran Qiuye from the original work. In the original work, Ran Qiuye came from a scholarly family, was beautiful, and had a good family background. Since Aunt Wang introduced Ran Qiuye, of course Xu Weijun also wanted to see her. Guard, what do you think? Seeing that Xu Weijun was a bit stunned, Aunt Wang thought he was not willing. Because Aunt Wang has introduced her to him twice, the first time the woman did not see Xu Weijun, and the second time Xu Weijun did not see her. Okay, Aunt Wang, then please. Xu Weijun readily agreed. Okay, that's settled then. I'll bring her over tomorrow. Aunt Wang laughed even more happily. Although Xu Weijun had his reputation tarnished by the Jia Zhang family, Aunt Wang was well informed and over time, naturally knew the cause and effect. Xu Weijun is now so promising, it is estimated that many people in this courtyard are regretting slapping their thighs. Of course, if Xu Weijun is successfully introduced to a partner, she can also gain many benefits. After finishing speaking, it was agreed to meet tomorrow, and Aunt Wang left with a happy smile on her face. She needs to inform the woman. At this moment, many people in the courtyard knew about Aunt Wang's matchmaking for Xu Weijun. Wang matchmaker is matchmaking Xu Weijun. Humph, it's better to blow the whistle and let Xu Weijun have no children or grandchildren. In the courtyard, Jia Zhang watched as Aunt Wang left happily and began to curse viciously again. Jia Dongxu's face is also not very good. Although he intercepted Qin Huairu from Xu Weijun at the beginning, it made him feel proud and angry for a while. But as Xu Weijun gradually rose to become a level 3 or level 4 welder, his days became increasingly prosperous, and his sense of superiority disappeared. Everyone is of the same age. Xu Weijun is now a level 6 welder, but he is only a level 2 fitter. The gap has widened too much, and the income gap has also widened too much. Jia Dongxu's heart is unbalanced. Moreover, the lives between the two are vastly different. Xu Weijun eats fine grains every day and occasionally eats meat and drinks alcohol. And what he eats every day is 2 noodles mantou, pickled vegetables, cabbage bangzi. In this comparison, Xu Weijun is enjoying life, while he is just living. So, Jia Dongxu also doesn't want Xu Weijun's blind date to be successful. Of course, it's best to be like Jia Zhang said, Xu Weijun had better cut off his children and have no descendants. There was nothing to say overnight. Early the next morning, Xu Weijun got up. The first thing I do when I get up is a lottery. Ding! The lottery was successful, winning 1 zhang of cloth tickets and 1 pound of big white rabbit milk candy, a 10-foot cloth ticket. Xu Weijun's face lit up with joy. Bupio is also one of the hard currencies in this era. To make clothes by pulling cloth, one must have a cloth ticket. And big white rabbit milk candy is even rarer, and many people can't eat one throughout the year. Now, I won 1 pound in the lottery. The system is really fragrant. After drawing the prize, Xu Weijun took out 2 eggs from the system warehouse and cut some lean pork. Then add rice to the pot. Although the door was closed, the smell of eggs and lean meat congee soon floated out. It smells so good, early in the morning. Who makes delicious food? Who else can there be? Of course it's Xu Weijun. He is really extravagant. He eats egg congee early in the morning. I can't bear to eat an egg for half a month. Eating like this every day, how could he not choke to death? Needless to say, such malicious words must have jumped out of Jia Zhang's mouth. Jia Dongxu's face also darkened, and he suddenly felt that the steamed bun in his hand was no longer fragrant. Bang Yu made a fuss about eating egg congee, which made Jia Dongxu even more upset. Didn't you hear that Bang Yu wanted to eat egg congee? You should go to Xu Weijun and get some back. Jia Zhang glared at Qin Huairu, who had a big belly. She never says she wants it because it means something similar to asking. Xu Weijun's salary is so high and his life is so good, it is only natural for Qin Huairu to go and get some. Me. Qin Huairu didn't expect that Jia Zhang, a pregnant woman with a big belly, would ask Xu Weijun for something to eat. There are also eggs at home, although not many, it's always enough for Bang Ji and Xiao Dang to eat. Are you going or not? Jia Zhang gave her another glare. Qin Huairu's heart was speechless. Her mother-in-law is really thick-skinned. The front foot cursed Xu Weijun for choking to death, and the back foot sent her to Xu Weijun's house to eat. Mom, I want to eat egg congee, and I want to eat egg congee. Bang Ji tugged at the corner of her clothes, crying and making noise. Looking at the crying stick meme, Qin Huairu's heart softened and she picked up a bowl and went to the backyard. Look, let me tell you what. Bat memes are smart from a young age. Jia Zhang laughed so hard that she couldn't close her mouth. Qin Huairu came to Xu Weijun's home in the backyard with a bowl. Seeing that Xu Weijun was eating egg congee, she was envious of the meat in it. Look, this is life for others. The guards, my stick wants to eat egg congee. Can you borrow a bowl? Qin Huairu said, glancing at the pot, he saw that there was still some egg congee, almost a bowl. No, it's over. Now, Qin Huairu is the woman of Jia Dongxu, and Xu Weijun wouldn't be a saint. Moreover, Qin Huairu belongs to Qiuye and only enters but cannot leave. In the original work, she borrowed a lot of money from silly Zhu, but never saw her repay it. Xu Weijun finished the egg lean meat congee in the bowl, and put the egg lean meat congee in the pot into the bowl. Qin Huairu looked embarrassed. I thought Xu Weijun would lend her a bowl of egg congee because she was pregnant. However, Xu Weijun simply refused. This also made Qin Huairu understand that Xu Weijun had always held a grudge against her in his heart. This Xu Weijun is really inhumane. It's really selfish. It's not easy for Huairu to have a big belly, so he can't be more generous. In the courtyard, some people couldn't help but gossip. Chapter 4. Such a good man, even with a lantern. You are listening at novelfull.audio. After finishing breakfast, locking the door, Xu Weijun went to the factory. This Xu Weijun is really amazing. He even locked the door when he went out. Is this guarding against thieves? Our courtyard is advanced every year, there are no thieves. I see that Xu Weijun has some undisclosed secrets. Maybe it's an enemy spy. Xu Weijun had just left when someone gossiped again. Don't talk nonsense, Xu Weijun's father is a heroic martyr. How could he be an enemy spy? Mind your mouth and don't talk nonsense everywhere. When Zhonghai went out to work and heard Xu Weijun's gossip, he glared fiercely at the person who was gossiping. Xu Weijun is becoming more and more promising. Considering the issue of elderly care in the future, Zhonghai also regrets helping Jia Dongxu and not Xu Weijun back then. So, Zhonghai now wants to establish a good relationship with Xu Weijun. Upon hearing someone gossip about Xu Weijun, he naturally issued a stern warning. If Xu Weijun is not a level 6 welder, then Zhonghai is too lazy to manage. Upon arriving at the steel rolling mill, Xu Weijun first requested leave from the workshop director and then went to the vegetable market. Xu Weijun is taking leave. What is he taking leave for? I don't know, maybe there's something at home. Is there something at home? He's the only one in his family, what can I do? Over the years, the number of times Xiaoxiu has taken leave is rare. He took leave early this morning, so it's probably something urgent. Don't guess, the guards took leave and went home for a blind date. As soon as Xu Weijun left, the workers in the workshop began to speculate. And those who knew about it spoke up about Xu Weijun's blind date today. Xiaoxiu's blind date today. No wonder. I don't know which family's girl is so lucky. With Xu Weijun's conditions, the woman should not be any worse, right? In the steel rolling mill, there used to be many unmarried young women with daughters or working in the factory who favored Xu Weijun. However, Xu Weijun remained unmoved. Now that Xu Weijun is on a blind date, the workers are curious about who the woman is. However, there were not many people who spoke ill of Xu Weijun. Although Xu Weijun is in a courtyard, his relationship with his neighbors is average. However, in steel mills, especially in welding workshops, the popularity is still very good. Xu Weijun arrived at the vegetable market. This vegetable market is quite large, with chickens, ducks, geese, fish, shrimp, turtles, and various dry pickled products. In addition, there are also Chinese cabbage, radish, eggplant, and various edible wild vegetables. Xu Weijun headed straight to the stall selling fish and shrimp. Yesterday's lottery, we already had pork and there were no shortage of eggs. Xu Weijun stood in line for a while, bought a 1-pound 2 large crucian carp, and also bought an old hen. Then I went to buy a few more vegetables. I spent a total of 3 yuan and 10 cents. Seeing that the vegetables were almost bought, Xu Weijun carried them and returned to the courtyard. Many people in the courtyard were envious, but Xu Weijun was too lazy to pay attention and went straight home. Jia Zhang, who was putting on the soles of her shoes, saw that Xu Weijun had bought so many vegetables, including fish and old hens. She immediately became very jealous and cursed. What about losing children and grandchildren, and what about losing households? They all cursed out. The elderly woman in the same hospital felt uncomfortable after listening. She was unable to give birth to a son and a half daughters for Grandpa Yi, and is a desperate woman. She felt that Jia Zhang was beating around the bush and scolding her, which was really heart-wrenching. Qin Huairu's eyes turned red when she saw it. She married Jia Dongxu and was not as extravagant as Xu Weijun is today during holidays and festivals. At most, it's also pork, and it's relatively rare. Unlike Xu Weijun, who bought fish and also bought an old hen. Vegetables are also abundant, with a variety of 4 or 5. If she hadn't been fooled by lard and married Jia Dongxu back then, but instead married Xu Weijun, that would have been great. At noon, Aunt Wang took Ran Qiuye to Xu Weijun's house. Mrs. Wang had already told Ran Qiuye about the situation at Xu Weijun's home before. My father is a heroic martyr, and my mother also went a few years ago. And Xu Weijun himself is tall and handsome. At the age of 17, he became an apprentice welder at a steel rolling mill, and at the age of 20.5, he was promoted to level 6 welder. Almost every month, they are advanced in the steel rolling mill. If it weren't for limited vocabulary, Aunt Wang would have praised Xu Weijun for his extravagance. Ran Qiuye heard Aunt Wang praise Xu Weijun as if he were rare in the sky, and also had a preliminary impression of Xu Weijun. Diligent, ambitious, with good family background, tall and handsome. If Aunt Wang hadn't lied to her, Xu Weijun would have been the ideal match that many unmarried young women dream of. However, it is only through face-to-face meetings that one can make a final decision. As for the relationship between Xu Weijun and the neighbors of the courtyard, Aunt Wang also briefly explained it. Ran Qiuye felt that Qin Huairu was being snobbish, so she dumped Xu Weijun and married Jia Dongxu. Moreover, in the courtyard, not only did the Jia family mother and son slander Xu Weijun, but even his neighbors excluded him and often gossiped about Xu Weijun. It is said that neighbors want harmony, but how did the Jia family deal with Xu Weijun, and how did the people in the courtyard deal with Xu Weijun? It's normal for the neighborhood relationship to be weak now. Anyway, she got it right. She will also be with Xu Weijun in the future. Neighborhood relationships are as good as fate. When Aunt Wang brought Ran Qiuye to Xu Weijun's house, Xu Weijun had already prepared a table of dishes. Braised crucian carp, hen stew, braised pork belly, fried eggs, eggplant with minced meat, fried vegetables with lean meat. A table was fully filled, but it surprised Aunt Wang and Ran Qiuye. It's just a matter of getting married. With such a large table of dishes, it's not as extravagant for the Chinese New Year. Aunt Wang thought to herself. And Ran Qiuye also felt that Xu Weijun valued this blind date very much, and he valued her very much. Seeing Ran Qiuye, Xu Weijun's eyes lit up. A very beautiful girl, she looks gentle and has an innate scholarly aura. Hello, I'm Xu Weijun. Xu Weijun reached out his hand. Hello, I am Ran Qiuye. Ran Qiuye also reached out and gently shook hands with Xu Weijun. When shaking hands, Ran Qiuye glanced at Xu Weijun, tall and handsome, very energetic and spirited. Aunt Wang did not deceive me as expected. Let's eat first, otherwise the dishes will all be cold. Aunt Wang said with a smile. Through the brief performances of Xu Weijun and Ran Qiuye just now, Aunt Wang also knows that this young couple has a preliminary eye contact. Let's eat first. Xu Weijun also greeted. Next, the three of them will sit down together to eat. Guard, did you cook all these dishes? During the meal break, Aunt Wang asked knowingly. Yeah, I did it all. Xu Weijun nodded. Cooking and stir-frying is a simple task for him. If it weren't for the limitations of ingredients and seasoning in this era, he could have made it even more delicious. Upon hearing Xu Weijun admit that he had made this table of dishes himself, Qiuye became even more satisfied with Xu Weijun in her heart. A level 6 welder with a high income and a tall and handsome appearance. The key is to stir-fry and cook. It's difficult to find such a good man even with a lantern on. Qingming outing and happy reading. Charge 100 and get 500 VIP coupons. Immediate recharge, activity period. April 4th to April 6th. Chapter 5. Jia Dongxu Paralyzed, 5th Watch, Seeking. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Jia family. Jia Zhang smelled the aroma of the food floating out of Xu Weijun's house, and she wished it was herself who acted as a matchmaker for Xu Weijun. That way she can eat meat. Moreover, she also smelled that Xu Weijun had a blind date today and had fish, chicken, pork, and eggs at home. So rich. Xu Weijun is such a beast. He eats so well and eats so much. My family's penis is growing and I don't know how to bring some to my house. Why didn't God choke him to death? As soon as her heart became unbalanced, Jia Zhang began to curse. Although Qin Huairu remained silent, she also wanted to eat meat. However, Xu Weijun certainly won't give her food, which can be seen from borrowing eggs congee in the morning. If she doesn't borrow any egg congee, will she have a large table of good dishes? Qin Huairu can only think in her heart. At this moment, a worker from a steel rolling mill rushed into the courtyard in a hurry. Seeing Jia Zhang putting in the soles of his shoes, the worker quickly said, no problem, Aunt Zhang, what's wrong with your Dongxu family? What? My Dongxu has an accident. Upon hearing this, Jia Zhang was immediately frightened and panicked. Jia Dongxu is the pillar of the family, what happened to him? Qin Huairu also had a big belly and walked out of the room. What happened to Dongxu at home? No one will come to the factory for ordinary small matters. And this worker is so anxious and flustered, it must be something big. Dongxu. Dongxu. The steel shelf has collapsed, and Dongxu was hit. He has now been taken to the hospital. The worker took a breath before saying. What? Dongxu was smashed. Jia Zhang and Qin Huairu were both surprised. What are you still waiting for? Come with me to the hospital. Jia Zhang gave Qin Huairu a fierce glare. Oh. Oh. Qin Huairu finally regained her senses, propped up her big belly, and hurriedly went to the hospital with Jia Zhang. Aunt Yi and Aunt Air also followed, while Aunt San stayed in the courtyard to help watch over Bang Gung and Xiao Dang. Backyard. Xu Weijun's home. Upon hearing the noise in the courtyard, Xu Weijun also learned about the incident where Jia Dongxu was smashed in the steel rolling mill. In the original work, Jia Dongxu had an accident and Qin Huairu became a widow, also when Qin Huairu was pregnant with her third child. However, there is no consensus yet on whether Jia Dongxu is dead or disabled. However, this has nothing to do with his Xu Weijun. If someone else dies, he just needs to live his own little life well. Come on, don't worry about anything else. Today is a great day for you to get to know each other. Let's eat first. Aunt Wang greeted. Yes, let's eat first. Xu Weijun also said. When Qiuye and Aunt Wang came out of Xu Weijun's house, it was already 3 o'clock in the afternoon. Autumn leaves, come and play when you have time. Xu Weijun and Aunt Wang escorted Qiuye to the entrance of the courtyard. Good Qiuye nodded happily and then left. Guard, how's it going? Is Autumn Leaf a good girl? Aunt Wang held the leftover food in her hand and said with a smile. The three of them couldn't finish the large table of dishes prepared by Xu Weijun. Qiuye comes from a scholarly family and is also here for a blind date. It's not appropriate to pack leftovers and go back. Xu Weijun didn't really want to eat leftovers, so he just asked Aunt Wang to pack them and go home, just as a thank you for introducing Qiuye to him. Of course, Xu Weijun also gave Aunt Wang 3 yuan in gratitude. After receiving 3 yuan in gratitude and so much leftover food, Aunt Wang felt very happy in her heart. Being knowledgeable and rational is a good match, Xu Weijun said with a slight smile. Qiuye, he is very satisfied. Okay, then you're in a relationship, and I'll wait to drink your wedding banquet. Mrs. Wang nodded and then spoke to Xu Weijun, then took the leftovers and left happily. Hey, now I, Xu Weijun, also have a partner. Xu Weijun smiled proudly and turned around, walking towards the backyard. Workers' Hospital. After 3 or 4 hours of rescue, Jia Dongxu's life was saved, but his lower body was paralyzed, becoming a burden. When Qin Huairu heard this result, her face turned pale and she almost fainted. She married Jia Dongxu just to live a good life in the city. After marrying Jia Dongxu, she never had a good day and instead worked as a cow and horse in the Jia family, becoming a tool for childbirth. Now, Jia Dongxu's lower body is paralyzed and disabled, and he will have to spend the rest of his life lying in bed. How will she live her future? Fortunately, Aunt Yi and Yi Zhonghai were quick-witted and helped her. Otherwise, she would collapse with a big belly, who knows what might happen. Jia Zhang couldn't accept this fact either. Her son has become disabled, it's impossible. It's impossible, doctor, this is not true, this is not true. My family, Dongxu, has not been disabled, has he? Jia Zhang grabbed the doctor's hand. This is a fact that cannot be changed. The doctor told me the truth. Jia Zhang was momentarily stunned. Zhang sure, don't be sad either. Although Dongxu is paralyzed, the villain is still there. Aunt Air comforted her with kindness. But to Jia Zhang's ears, it was no different, so Aunt Air said to her, Zhang, your Dongxu is not dead, but he is disabled and will be a drag on the oil in the future. What are you saying? I tore your mouth open. Jia Zhang stared fiercely at Aunt Air and scratched her face with his hand. Zhang, dare you scratch me? Aunt Air was kind and comforting, but was fiercely scratched in the face by the Jia Zhang clan. She was so angry that she started to fight with the Jia Zhang clan from the bottom of her heart. Hey, don't even fight anymore, don't even fight anymore. As soon as Qin Huairu was helped up, Jia Zhang and Aunt Air began to tear each other apart. Aunt Yi quickly separated the two from the doctor. Yi Zhonghai stopped Jia Zhang, while Yi Auntie pulled Auntie outside the doctor's room. Looking at Aunt Air again, her face was scratched by Jia Zhang. Good intentions don't pay off, the Jia family doesn't have any good things, I don't care. How could Aunt Air bear to be avenged by Jia Zhang's kindness? He let out a loud scolding and left. Hey, this beam has already been tied. Auntie sighed. The news of Jia Dongxu's lower body paralysis quickly spread back to the courtyard. Aunt Air's face was scratched by Jia Zhang in the hospital, how could she bear this breath? So as soon as he returned to the courtyard, he paralyzed Jia Dongxu and spread the news of Jia Zhang's revenge among the neighbors. When Xu Weijun heard this news, his expression on his face was extremely brilliant. In the original work, Jia Dongxu was dead. But now, he is still alive. However, the lower body was paralyzed, and from then on it became a drag on oil. Moreover, after paralysis in the lower body, even if a man has that function, he cannot use it anymore. Qin Huairu is equivalent to becoming a conservative widow. You deserve it. P.S. On the 5th watch of the first day, I am seeking flowers for collection. There are 10 more chapters to be updated in the future. Please support me. Chapter 6. Accepting Apprentices, 6 Seeking Collection and Seeking Flowers. You are listening at novelfull.audio. You deserve it. After learning that Jia Dongxu had become a useless person, Xu Weijun couldn't help but curse. Previously, he was on a blind date with Qin Huairu. However, due to the death of her mother, Qin Huairu despised poverty and wealth, and instead married Jia Dongxu. The Jia family's mother and son also slandered him, not only saying that his toad wanted to eat swan meat, but also making his neighbors in the courtyard exclude him and gossip about him. And later on, he also worked hard to improve his work level and skills. After his life improved, Jia Zhang's mother and son were jealous to death. There are many curses behind his back that curse him for having no children or grandchildren. Now it's okay, although Jia Dongxu hasn't died. But even if he saves one life, he will still be paralyzed in bed in the future. This is no different from a broken piece. This is the fate of Jia Zhang's failure to accumulate oral virtues, it is retribution. So, Jia Dongxu's paralysis is simply commendable. Moreover, after Jia Dongxu was paralyzed in bed, the Jia family's life became difficult. Even if Qin Huairu takes over Jia Dongxu's job after giving birth, she still needs to start as a fitter apprentice. The fitter apprentice only earns 18.5 yuan a month, how can he support the Jia family? Moreover, in the original work, Qin Huairu was also focused on absorbing the blood of a foolish pillar. It's impossible to make her eager to learn and strive to improve her work level. So, with a joyful mood, Xu Weijun went to bed. Today's lottery is for 10 yuan, 10 pounds of oranges, and 2 pounds of preserved meat. Compared to the previous lottery, Xu Weijun didn't care. Since it's a lottery, it must be a random draw, and it's impossible to get many rewards every time. Sometimes, it is possible to receive fewer rewards. This needs to be accepted. Xu Weijun had a full breakfast, and when he went out, he saw Aunt Air drying blankets in the yard. Nowadays, Aunt Air has several red scratches on her face, resembling a few big centipedes crawling on her face, appearing somewhat ferocious and terrifying. Seeing Xu Weijun, Aunt Air smiled and said hello. Aunt Air, good morning. People feel refreshed during happy events, and Xu Weijun also greeted them with a smile. Although the neighbors may seem harmonious, they are actually just nodding acquaintances. It is said that there are many beasts in the courtyard, and in recent years, Aunt Air has also spoken ill of him behind his back. Of course, since he was greeted by others, Xu Weijun would also be polite. On his way to work after leaving the gate of the courtyard, Xu Weijun saw Jia Zhang, who had returned from the hospital. Because Jia Dongxu had an accident and became a useless person, it seemed like Jia Zhang had grown much older overnight. Moreover, there seems to be some mental issues, which makes me feel a bit lost. But who can be blamed for this? Who called her mouth poisonous, but in the end, it was avenged on her own son. In the original work, after Jia Dongxu's death, Qin Huairu gave birth to a small locust flower and then became an apprentice fitter in a steel rolling mill. And now, Jia Dongxu has not died, but has become a useless person. Qin Huairu couldn't possibly go to work at the steel rolling mill with a big belly. As for Jia Zhang, she is lazy, which is even more impossible. So, in the future, it will be difficult for the Jia family. From then on, Qin Huairu began to sell poorly, and the neighbors in the courtyard also began to occasionally assist the Jia family. Being a good person is not easy, it comes at a cost. After passing by Jia and Zhang, Xu Weijun thought to himself. When I went to the steel rolling mill and arrived at the workshop, I heard many people discussing Jia Dongxu's matter. However, Xu Weijun was not interested in listening. He is a person with pursuits, but he still works diligently, studies welding techniques diligently, and strives to make more contributions to national construction. After drinking a sip of water, he picked up the welding gun and started the day's work. At lunchtime, over a dozen colleagues who had a good relationship and had a good conversation with Xu Weijun gathered around him. "Guard, you can do it, kid. We'll go on a blind date without saying a word. When will we send out wedding candies?" With the conditions of the guards, the girl must still stick to him like a plaster, and sending candy has been happening recently, right? We'll have to set up a few more tables then. Haha. Xu Weijun had a cold relationship with his neighbors in the courtyard, and even Jia Dongxu was spreading rumors about him at the steel rolling mill. Rumors are just rumors. When the workers spend a long time with Xu Weijun, they will know his character. In the welding workshop, everyone knows that Xu Weijun is generous, skilled in welding, and often invites his colleagues to dine out, so everyone likes to make friends with him. The workers were all laughing and talking, and Xu Weijun was also very happy. Yesterday I had a blind date with Qiuye, and both parties were very satisfied. He will also have a partner in the future. If we spend some more time together and feel that there is no problem, getting married is also a natural thing. Don't worry, when we send out the wedding candy, you will definitely have a portion. Let's go to the restaurant together when we finish work in the evening. As soon as the notice of promotion to level 6 welder was issued, the workers coaxed him to treat. He also agreed. Xu Weijun didn't forget this meal. Anyway, starting from next month, his salary will increase and he doesn't really care about the money spent on dining out. What is the purpose of working hard to improve one's work level and income? It's not just about living a prosperous life. The guards are so interesting. I need to eat less for this lunch. Haha. Xu Weijun said that he will be dining out tonight, and his colleagues are all very happy. After chatting for a while, everyone returned to their respective positions after finishing their meal. In the afternoon, Xu Weijun was working when the workshop director led a young man aged 18 or 19 to come and find him. "Guard, I have something to do with you," the workshop director said. Nowadays, Xu Weijun is a level 6 welder, and also the youngest level 6 welder in a fully rolled steel plant, with an unlimited future. Many people in the management team of the factory believe that Xu Weijun can become an engineer in the future, which is a consensus among many management teams in the factory. So, when the workshop director talks to him, he is also friendly. "Director, please speak." Xu Weijun put down his welding gun and glanced at the young man next to the workshop director. "You are also a level 6 welder now, how about taking an apprentice?" The workshop director said. "Take an apprentice?" Xu Weijun was stunned for a moment. He has never taken an apprentice with him yet. However, now that he is a level 6 welder, it's not a big deal to have an apprentice. In the steel rolling mill, many 4th level workers have taken their apprentices with them. Moreover, taking an apprentice is also beneficial. For example, when working, the apprentice can help to reduce his workload. I can go for lunch, and my disciple can also help me run errands. He observed the young people around the workshop director again. Having a large physique, one's body bones must be sturdy. The key is thick eyebrows and big eyes, which don't look like young people with any bad intentions. It's not a problem to train technical workers for the country. Thinking of this, Xu Weijun readily agreed. Guard, you just have a high level of ideological consciousness, no wonder you are advanced every month. Okay, then I'll leave this kid to you. The workshop director is also very happy. This young man, but his own nephew. Xu Weijun agreed to take him as his disciple, so he also had an explanation with his own sister. Moreover, Xu Weijun is still the youngest level 6 welder in the steel rolling mill, and he is sure to become an engineer in the future. My nephew follows Xu Weijun, as long as he doesn't cheat or play tricks, he will definitely have a bright future. P.S. Seeking collection, seeking flowers, seeking all support. There are 9 more chapters to be updated in the future. Chapter 7. Dining out, Zhonghai apologizes, 7 requests more. You are listening at novelfull.audio. What's your name? The workshop director left happily, and Xu Weijun also had a conversation with his first apprentice. But then again, he doesn't know the name of this young man yet. Qiuye. The young man said honestly. His uncle has already told him that Master Xu is the youngest level 6 welder in the entire 10,000-person steel rolling mill, and he has a promising future. By learning to be a welder and apprentice with him, he can also learn many skills. How old is it? Xu Weijun asked again. Master, I am 18 this year. Guiyuanchao said. I was also an apprentice welder at the steel rolling mill when I was 18 years old. Follow me to learn well, don't cheat or play tricks, and in the future, you can also have a skill to support your family. Although Guiyuanchao appeared honest, Xu Weijun also had to strike in advance to establish the authority of his master. If Guiyuanchao truly respects his teachers and values the way after that, and follows him to learn well, he will definitely devote himself to teaching. If he is cheating and playing tricks, then he can only have the workshop director find another master for him. Okay, master, I understand. Guiyuanchao nodded happily. Let's start then. Xu Weijun spoke and began to work while teaching his disciples. The work in the workshop is quite arduous, especially for fitters, forgers, welders. Xu Weijun works very hard every day, but he eats and drinks well every day, so it's not a big deal to work a little harder. Moreover, with the help of another apprentice now, he has also become more relaxed. It seems that having an apprentice is still beneficial. At least someone can help with it, making work easier. If I had known about being a level 4 welder, I would have taken my apprentice and didn't have to work so hard. Xu Weijun thought to himself. However, he used to focus solely on studying welding techniques and never had the intention of taking on apprenticeship. After a day of work, when the bell rang for the end of work in the steel rolling mill, Xu Weijun and a group of workers prepared to go to the restaurant. Guiyuanchao packed his things and prepared to go home, but was stopped by Xu Weijun. Aid Korea, let's go together. Guiyuanchao is now his disciple. As a master, if you go to a restaurant and have delicious food, you have to call your disciple up no matter what. Okay, master. Guiyuanchao was also very happy upon hearing this. He originally wanted to go home after work, but he didn't expect his master to take him to a restaurant. He's so big, but he hasn't been to a restaurant yet. So, a group of about 20 people came to a small restaurant near the steel rolling mill and sat at 3 tables full. Next, Xu Weijun orders dishes. Pork, chicken and duck, fish, as well as a few vegetables and wine, are available at each table. Enough management. My colleagues are also very happy. Following Xu Weijun is a simple way to go to the next restaurant. With such a large table of dishes, it's more abundant than their family's Chinese New Year. When the dishes were served, everyone also toasted Xu Weijun. Guard, I offer you a toast. I hope you will continue to work hard and be promoted to level 7 or 8 as a welder. I will also be promoted to an engineer in the future. It's time to fight the tycoons again. At the table, everyone was chatting and laughing, creating a lively atmosphere. Okay, no problem. People feel refreshed during happy events. With such a group of colleagues who have worked in the same workshop for 7 years gathered together, Xu Weijun was also happy. As soon as you tilt your neck, a glass of wine will bottom out. At this moment, someone else entered the small restaurant. He is also a worker in the steel rolling mill and a fitter workshop. However, the number of people is not as large as Xu Weijun's side, only a few 7 or 8 people. The leader is Zhonghai. Zhonghai used to be a level 7 fitter, but he passed the work level assessment and was promoted to level 8 fitter. Starting next month, his salary will be the highest among skilled workers. So, after work, he also went to a restaurant with several old brothers in the workshop. Unexpectedly, they ran into each other with Xu Weijun. Grandpa Yi, go out to the restaurant. Seeing Zhonghai, Xu Weijun greeted him. Although our relationship with the neighbors in the courtyard is average, we still need to greet them appropriately. Zhonghai nodded and said a few words to Xu Weijun before sitting down. However, looking at the table over at Xu Weijun, Zhonghai was also surprised. This Xu Weijun is just inviting his colleagues to a restaurant for a meal, and surprisingly, there is pork, chicken, duck, and fish a table full of dishes. This is too luxurious. People have comparisons, and if it's too shabby for me to treat my colleagues to a meal, it's probably not good to hear about it. So, Zhonghai also bravely ordered a few meat dishes and a few vegetarian dishes. Even the colleagues who came with Zhonghai were secretly surprised that old was so generous. However, seeing the dishes on Xu Weijun's table, they all realized it. Lao is saving face and doesn't want to be compared to Xu Weijun. However, Xu Weijun is also young and promising. A 25-year-old level 6 welder has an unlimited future. After finishing a meal, everyone also dispersed. Xu Weijun drank a lot of alcohol and felt a bit drunk. He walked lightly towards the courtyard. If only I had a bicycle. He already has the money to buy a bicycle. When his salary was low in the past, bicycles were unimaginable. Since he was promoted to level 4 as a welder, his monthly salary has been 40.7 yuan and 50 cents. I save everything except for spending over 20 yuan on food and drink every month. Up to now, he has also saved over 400 yuan. Buying a bicycle is enough. In this era, buying a bicycle also requires a bicycle ticket. Money is no problem, the key is that it's difficult to get bicycle tickets. Tomorrow, ask the workshop director if they can help get a bicycle ticket. Xu Weijun thought to himself. Guard, wait. Grandpa Zhonghai chased after him from behind, holding a lunchbox filled with leftover food. Zhonghai is not as generous as Xu Weijun. He doesn't want any leftover food himself and takes it all to his colleagues. Grandpa what's wrong? Xu Weijun stopped for a moment, waiting for Zhonghai to catch up. That. The guards, it used to be my fault. You won't blame me, will you? Zhonghai's face showed a hint of apology and embarrassment. Xu Weijun was also surprised. What did Zhonghai do? Want to establish a good relationship with me. Grandpa what can I blame you for? Xu Weijun waved his hand and said, let's go first. Zhonghai stopped in a daze, but his heart was filled with worry. Xu Weijun doesn't blame him, that's the biggest monster. This indicates that Xu Weijun is simply too lazy to pay attention to him. In fact, Xu Weijun also thought the same way. He doesn't want to talk to Grandpa P.S. Today's 7th watch, seeking collection, seeking flowers, seeking everything. There are 8 more chapters to follow. Chapter 8. Indeed, misfortune comes from the mouth, and retribution comes from it. You are listening at novelfull.audio. When I returned to the courtyard and passed by the courtyard, Xu Weijun saw Qin Huairu cooking for Bongeng and Xiaodang. Because Jia Dongxu is still in the hospital, Jia Zhang is still taken care of in the hospital. And Qin Huairu also had to go home to take care of Bongeng and Xiaodang, while preparing meals, and also had to deliver them to Jia Zhang's mother and son in the hospital. It's really tough to have a big belly, take care of the family, and even go deliver food. However, Qin Huairu despises poverty and loves wealth, so there is nothing worth pitying. Xu Weijun gave a cold smile and was about to return to the backyard when he saw silly Zhu walking towards Qin Huairu's house. He stopped in his tracks. Qin Jia, you're still pregnant. Let me go and bring you food. When he arrived at Ru's house in Qinhuai, silly Zhu volunteered. This isn't good, is it? Qin Huairu actually really wanted silly Zhu to help deliver the food, but she just pushed it aside on the surface. There's nothing wrong with it. We're all neighbors, so it's appropriate to help each other. Speaking of which, silly Zhu glanced outside and saw Xu Weijun. I'm not like some people. Qin Huairu also glanced outside the room. Okay, I'll leave it to you. Qin Huairu is just begging for it, silly Pillar has already talked about this, she has to take it. No problem, it's all on me, silly pillar assured as he patted his chest. Then, Qin Huairu packed the prepared meals into 2 lunch boxes and handed them to Silly Zhu. Silly Zhu took the lunch box and went to the hospital to deliver the meal without any hesitation. TSK, the tongue-honoring dog attribute has finally been activated. After listening to the conversation between Qin Huairu and Silly Zhu, Xu Weijun couldn't help but exclaim in surprise. Brother Wei, what is the attribute of tongue-honor dog? At this moment, Rainwater appeared beside Xu Weijun. Xu Weijun glanced at Rainwater, whose figure had not yet grown, and said, your tongue is like a dog. For example, if she likes to ignore you or just wants to use you, but you don't know it and are willing to be good to her at all costs. Do you understand? Rainwater shook his head and said, I don't understand. I don't understand. Then forget it. Xu Weijun doesn't want to say much either. In the future, when Silly Zhu really evolves into Qin Huairu's henchman, little tongue-honor dog, and Rainwater starts to pit Silly Zhu because of this, she should understand. After speaking, Xu Weijun walked into the backyard. Tongue-honoring dog. Is Wei Guoga talking about my brother? Rainwater is a bit puzzled. However, Xu Weijun had already arrived home and closed the door, so she was too embarrassed to ask. Old man, why did you come back so late? When Grandpa E returned home, Auntie had some dissatisfaction. She cooked the food at home, but ended up eating it alone. But my husband, Mr. E, exudes a strong alcoholic aura. Isn't it that I've been promoted to level 8 as a fitter? Let's go out with some old colleagues in the workshop. Grandpa E explained. Going out to a restaurant. You're so generous, murmured Aunt E. Isn't this also bringing you food? Grandpa E took out the lunch box, and as soon as he opened it, the fragrance wafted out. Although it's leftover food, Aunt E is still quite happy. All right, put it in the cabinet for now and eat it tomorrow, said Mr. E. After speaking, I went to get my foot wash ready. Aunt E also put the leftovers in the cabinet. When I was dining out, I met Xu Weijun. Soak your feet in hot water, said Mr. 1. Encountered Xu Weijun. Did he also go to a restaurant? Aunt E was curious. Didn't he also be promoted to level 6 as a welder? He invited his colleagues from the workshop to the restaurant, and that's how we met. Grandpa E said. And then what? Aunt E asked. The old man mentioned Xu Weijun not only because we met at the restaurant, but also because of other things. After finishing my meal and returning home, I mentioned the past to him and he said he didn't blame me. Grandpa E said in frustration. I finally pulled down my old face and wanted to establish a good relationship with Xu Weijun. However, Xu Weijun appeared very indifferent, which not only made him feel uneasy about his old face, but also worried about his future relationship with Xu Weijun. Previously, he had no confidence in Xu Weijun. But now, Xu Weijun is a level 6 welder. Many people believe that Xu Weijun can become an engineer in the future, and Mr. E also thinks so in his heart. So, Grandpa E wants to establish a good neighborhood relationship with Xu Weijun. Of course, it would be even better if Xu Weijun could provide him with retirement in the future. He is elderly. As for his disciple Jia Dongxu, he has had many apprentices, and Jia Dongxu is probably the dumbest and least ambitious among the apprentices he has ever led. Otherwise, why has Jia Dongxu been a second-level fitter for so many years? However, this fitter was also disabled. Paralyzed in bed, becoming a useless person. Relying on him for retirement cannot be relied upon. I don't blame you, that's just that you still have anger in your heart, said the First Lady. Yeah. Grandpa E sighed. If it's not his fault, then why has our relationship been so weak for so many years? Anyway, we must establish a good relationship with Xu Weijun. Aunt Ye's eyes twitched and she thought to herself, isn't he a blind date? Have you found a partner? Let's start with his partner. Are you saying, first establish a good relationship with his partner? Grandpa Yi's eyes lit up. Yes. Auntie patted her thighs. Although Xu Weijun is not indifferent to us, we can establish a good relationship with his partner. Having a good relationship with his partner can also bring us closer to Xu Weijun. That's a good idea. Grandpa Yi said. Although it's a bit troublesome, it's still a solution. That's settled. Early in the morning, Xu Weijun saw Jia Zhang's return from outside. I saw her face haggard, her eyes sunken, and she looked much older. Seeing Xu Weijun go to work while his son is now lying in the hospital, becoming a useless person, Jia Zhang's heart became unbalanced. She wished Jia Dongxu and Xu Weijun could be exchanged. Now, the second-level welder Xu Weijun is paralyzed in the hospital, while Jia Dongxu has become a sixth-level fitter and goes to work. He eats and drinks well, and she also follows suit. Unfortunately, this is just thinking about it. How could I not let Xu Weijun lie in the hospital when I was so naive? After Xu Weijun left, Jia Zhang cursed and cursed. The passing bangs, as well as Qiuye who was going to school, gave Jia and Zhang a strange glance. Jia Zhang is really vicious. Jia Dongxu became disabled and also hoped that others would become disabled. It is indeed a curse that comes from the mouth, retribution. P.S. 8th watch, seeking flowers for collection. Next, let's talk about the update issue of this book. At present, this book has over 20,000 saved manuscripts, and the author can write over 12,000 in a day, except for eating, drinking, and sleeping. There is a minimum guarantee of 12,000. So, during the new book period, please rest assured to read and collect. If there are any flowers, please put them in to encourage the author. If there are none, please do not force them. In addition, please also cast a review vote. If there is none, it is not mandatory. Finally, thank you all for your support. The author has gone to write. Chapter 9. Jia and Zhang's report on Xu Weijun, 9 for collection. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Jia Zhang returned home, and Qin Huairu had already prepared breakfast. Because they were all making coarse grain steamed buns, Jia Zhang began to complain that Qin Huairu was useless. When it comes to growing up, Jia Dongxu also needs nutrition and good food when hospitalized. How about eating this little coarse grain steamed bun? It is also said that Qin Huairu did not know how to show filial piety to the elderly, nor did she know how to cherish her husband and son. Qin Huairu felt extremely aggrieved in her heart. Jia Dongxu inherited the fine tradition of the Jia Zhang family, all of whom belonged to the Qiuye tribe. In addition to providing a little retirement for the Jia Zhang family and buying some grain for the Qin Huairu, the rest of his monthly salary was kept by himself. Now, Qin Huairu doesn't have any money on her, but she doesn't know where Jia Dongxu hides the money. As for expecting Jia Zhang to come out with money, it's simply impossible. After marrying into the Jia family for so many years, Qin Huairu had already seen her mother-in-law Jia Zhang clearly. She belonged to the Qiuye tribe and could only enter but not leave. She was stingy and would die. Jia Zhang complained for a while, ate a steamed bun, drank a bowl of porridge, and suddenly had an idea. She walked out of the house and looked towards Xu Weijun's house in the backyard. Xu Weijun has gone to work now, and Jia Zhang is preparing to go to Xu Weijun's house to get some things. That's right, just take it. Jia Zhang doesn't think that's stealing. Xu Weijun's life is the best in this courtyard, eating fine grains and meat every now and then. It's nothing if I go and get some. Besides, his toad wants to eat swan meat, and I look up to him when I go get his things. Jia Zhang thought to herself. Do whatever you say, and Jia Zhang quickly sneaked to Xu Weijun's doorstep. However, when she saw the lock hanging on the door, Jia Zhang became conflicted. The door is locked, what should I do? The sky is clear and the sun is shining, but Xu Weijun's home is locked. Perhaps there is really some hidden secret. Is he really an enemy spy? Jia Zhang suddenly remembered a possibility. That morning, someone in the courtyard saw Xu Weijun locking the door, that's what they said. Just stopped by Zhonghai. However, if it is really an enemy spy, she will report it. Thinking of this, Jia Zhang immediately had an idea. She is going to the street office to report Xu Weijun. At noon, Xu Weijun finished his work, sat down to rest, and waited for his disciple Gui Yuanchao to come back for dinner. However, before he could sit still, the security department of the steel rolling mill arrived. Xu Weijun, if you need anything, come with us. The person from the security department said. Let's go. Where are we going? It's definitely not a good thing for the security department to find him. Xu Weijun also wondered, he didn't do anything illegal or disciplinary. We have received a report from the public that your door is locked all day long. We suspect that you are an enemy spy. Now, please cooperate with the investigation. Because Xu Weijun is an advanced and model worker in the steel rolling mill. And a few days ago, the factory also issued a commendation notice, so the people from the security department spoke more politely. Enemy spy. I got it wrong. Xu Weijun said. As for the public report mentioned by the security department, it goes without saying that people from the courtyard are behind the scenes. I just don't know who it is. Uncle San. Su Dumao. Stupid Pillar. Jia Zhang's. We also conduct routine investigations. The person from the security department said. Okay, I'll cooperate. However, if I'm not an enemy agent, the security department needs to prove it to me. Xu Weijun said. In this era, the most important thing is reputation. If someone's malicious report adds a suspected enemy spy hat to their head, they won't do it. That's no problem, said the person from the security department. Subsequently, Xu Weijun followed the people from the security department. Xiao Su is an enemy spy. How could that be? Definitely not. Someone was jealous and deliberately framed. His father is a martyr, how could his descendants be enemy spies? Nonsense. In the workshop, many people also do not believe that Xu Weijun is an enemy spy. The fitter workshop, the forging workshop, and Zhonghai and Lu Haizhong also learned about the security department taking Xu Weijun away for investigation. Xu Weijun cannot be an enemy spy, it must be someone in the courtyard who has framed and slandered him. Zhonghai also thought the same way, and then he put down his lunchbox and went to the security department of the steel rolling mill. Arriving at the security department, I happened to bump into the Bangs. Xu Weijun is not in the security department and said he went straight back to the courtyard. I arrived first in the Bangs and didn't see Xu Weijun. After seeing Zhonghai, he said. Let's go back too. Zhonghai said. Okay. He still wants to establish a good relationship with Xu Weijun and have Xu Weijun provide him with retirement in the future. And what Lu Haizhong considered was that if Xu Weijun was really an enemy spy, it would have an impact on the entire quadrangle. So the two of them hurriedly left the steel rolling mill and rushed towards the courtyard. When they returned to the courtyard, the backyard was already crowded with people. Most of the people in the courtyard are there. TSK, no wonder I lock up all day. It turns out I'm an enemy spy. I said Xu Weijun had some hidden secrets, and I was really right. Some people couldn't help but discuss when they saw the security department of the steel rolling mill bringing back Xu Weijun. Shut up, everyone. Zhonghai gave those people a fierce glare. The conclusion hasn't come out yet. You're talking nonsense here, making a fuss. Go inside and see, my secrets are all inside. Xu Weijun took out the key, opened the lock, and the door also opened. People from the security department rushed in. After entering the house, I saw that it was clean and tidy, with things arranged in an orderly manner. In addition to the bed, bedding, wardrobe, and some kitchen utensils, Xu Weijun surprisingly has a small bookshelf and a desk at home. This is the only part of the courtyard. On top of the bookshelf, there are plenty of books. The security department searched inside. Not only did he get nothing, but when he flipped through the book, he was overwhelmed by the dense collection of reading notes and work experience. No wonder Xu Weijun was promoted to level 6 as a welder at a young age. No wonder he is almost always an advanced worker every month and a model worker every year. Look at their level and level of effort. Saying he is an enemy spy, even the people in the security department don't believe him anymore. At this moment, Zhonghai and Lu Haizhong also walked into Xu Weijun's house. Comrades, Xu Weijun. Is he okay? Grandpa 1 and Grandpa 2 cautiously inquired. This may be a misunderstanding. How could Comrade Xu Weijun be an enemy spy? Diligent and eager to learn, striving for excellence. Every month is advanced and every year is a model worker, truly deserving of its reputation. No wonder one can be promoted to level 6 as a welder at a young age. The people in the security department couldn't help but praise Xu Weijun at this moment. Grandpa 1 and Grandpa 2 looked at each other. Is Xu Weijun okay? However, since Xu Weijun is fine, it's good. Comrade Xu Weijun, we have investigated and you are not an enemy spy. The person from the security department said to Xu Weijun. I've already said I'm not. Xu Weijun said lightly. Why isn't he? He eats and drinks well every day. Comrades, I hope you can investigate again. At this moment, hearing the conclusion of the security department, Jia Zhang suddenly jumped out of the crowd. Xu Weijun's gaze was slightly fixed. Now, there are many people squeezing into the backyard to watch the excitement. But after the conclusion was drawn by the security department, everyone shut up. But Jia Zhang jumped out. Now, Xu Weijun is certain that it is highly likely that Jia Zhang framed and falsely accused him behind the scenes. Zhang, don't be careless. Comrades in the security department have all said that Xu Weijun is not an enemy spy. Zhonghai and Lu Haizhong both glared fiercely at Jia Zhang. Miss Zhang, don't act around. The deaf old lady also came in with a cane. P.S. 9th watch, seeking collection, seeking flowers, seeking everything. Chapter 10. Cutting off children and enduring grandchildren. So familiar, 10 more requirements. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Madam, you're here. Seeing the deaf old lady, the person from the security department quickly greeted her. Lu Haizhong brought a chair and Zhonghai helped the old lady sit down. Old lady. Xu Weijun also greeted the deaf old lady. The father of the SS is a heroic martyr, and he is also an advanced and model worker in the steel rolling mill. How could he possibly be an enemy spy? Someone must have framed him. After sitting down, the deaf old lady said calmly. In the crowd, Jia Zhang felt a wave of nervousness. In this courtyard, she is not afraid of anyone, just the deaf old lady. Yes, the old lady is right, the security guard nodded repeatedly. The deaf old lady is full of heroes, so even those from the security department must consider the weight of her words. Although Jia Zhang was unwilling, there was nothing she could do. However, the guards. At this moment, the deaf old lady looked at Xu Weijun. Madam, please speak. Xu Weijun respectfully said. The deaf old lady is full of heroes and martyrs, and at least respect should be given. Don't keep the door locked all day, it's easy to cause misunderstandings. Okay, listen to you, old lady. Xu Weijun said. That's it then. After the old lady finished speaking, she let Grandpa E support her and got up to leave. Subsequently, the person from the security department spoke to Xu Weijun for a few words and then left. In the backyard, everyone quickly dispersed as there was not much excitement to watch. It's highly likely that Jia Zhang is causing trouble behind her back. Otherwise, why didn't anyone else jump out and make fun of her? Xu Weijun thought to himself. Then, he put away the lock hanging on the door. This lock was originally hung to prevent children from stealing holy sticks in the courtyard. However, since the deaf old lady had said so, he took off the lock. This is what Zhang did behind the scenes. As soon as Grandpa Yi helped the deaf old lady back into the room, she said. The deaf old lady is not actually deaf, she is just accustomed to tactical deafness. Moreover, as one grows older and becomes more refined, one can see through everything. From the moment Jia Zhang jumped out of the play at Xu Weijun's house today, the deaf old lady knew that Jia Zhang was behind the scenes as a demon. I can see it now. Grandpa Yi helped the deaf old lady sit down and also said. In the past, Qin Huairu did not associate with Xu Weijun, but when she married Dongxu, Zhang and Dongxu slandered Xu Weijun. At that time, you were also confused. Why did you say that Xu Weijun was not? Now Xu Weijun is young and a level 6 welder in the steel rolling mill. His future is limitless, and you need to establish a good relationship with him. Over the years, it was Zhonghai and his wife who took care of her, and the deaf old lady also remembered it in her heart. Now, seeing Xu Weijun's success, the deaf old lady also hopes that Zhonghai can establish a good relationship with Xu Weijun. Old lady, I understand. Zhonghai nodded. I have to go back to the factory to work, so I'll leave first. Go ahead. The deaf old lady waved her hand. Xu Weijun also returned to the steel rolling mill. As soon as they returned to the workshop, several colleagues gathered around to inquire about the situation. Watching his colleagues all care about him, Xu Weijun said, the security department has investigated and it was all a misunderstanding. Someone deliberately framed me. I'll just say, how could the guards be enemy spies? It turns out that someone deliberately framed it, it's really not something. Those who framed Xiao Su will have to cut off their children and have no descendants. After learning that Xu Weijun was framed, the workers couldn't help but say. Cut off children and have no descendants. How familiar. Xu Weijun smiled faintly, ate the food left for him by his disciple Guiyuanchao, and began working. In the courtyard, Jia Zhang cursed and went to the hospital with a lunch box. Today, Xu Weijun was unable to put an enemy spy hat on her head, which made her very unhappy. What made her even more unhappy was that her precious son Jia Dongxu was still lying in the hospital, and Qin Huairu, who was the daughter-in-law, did not cook anything delicious for Jia Dongxu. Just 2 mantou with noodles, porridge and a little pickled vegetables. So, Jia Zhang scolded Qin Huairu. Now, Qin Huairu is wiping tears at home. Originally, Qin Huairu thought that Xu Weijun had no father or mother, and his family was in dire straits, so she turned to marry Jia Dongxu. However, after marrying Jia Dongxu, she realized that she had boarded a pirate ship. Husband Jia Dongxu is lazy and lacks ambition, Grandma Jia Zhang is selfish and malicious. And she worked as a cow and a horse in this family, never enjoying the good days she had hoped for. Now that Jia Dongxu has passed away, she also has the idea of regretting marrying Jia Dongxu back then. If she had married Xu Weijun, although life would have been a bit difficult at first, Xu Weijun would have worked hard and made progress, and the days ahead would only become more prosperous. However, all of this now is her own fault. It's difficult for her to regret now. Because there is no regret medicine in this world. Zhang is really a good daughter-in-law of Qin Huairu. How could she say that? Just. However, Zhang's mouth was really poisonous. She cursed Xu Weijun for cutting off his children and leaving no offspring. As a result, Jia Dongxu is now deposed. I suspect her mouth was too wide open. In the courtyard, several aunties who were putting soles on their shoes couldn't help but discuss. Especially Aunt Air, who was avenged by the kindness of Jia Zhang and scratched her face, wished that Jia Zhang would die easily. Let me tell you, it would be better if Jia Zhang had to cut off his children and have no descendants, and it would also save Qin Huairu so much trouble. Aunt Air said. No one says that Qin Huairu is not good, but everyone sympathizes with her and thinks that Qin Huairu is a good wife, daughter.in.law, and mother. The character design of Qin Huairu is indeed very successful. Ding! Successful lucky draw, received 1 bicycle ticket, as a gift from the factory manager, and 1 bag of chocolate cookies, in a 3-pound pack, another new day. Surprisingly, it's a bicycle ticket. Having obtained a bicycle ticket made Xu Weijun very happy in his heart. He used to want to buy a bicycle, but he struggled to get a bicycle ticket, so he didn't buy it. And now, since you have a bicycle ticket, you can buy the bicycle back home. I'll go buy a bicycle in the afternoon, and I'll need it for my date tomorrow. In this era, having a bicycle at home is equivalent to having a supercar decades later, which is a very prestigious thing. P.S. Today's 10th watch, seeking collection, flowers, everything, and there will be another 5th watch in the future.